Hello, and welcome to Motherwise. I'm Jackie Crawford. Once upon a time, I was a single mother of three small children, and our finances were drastically cut so that I only had $50 a week for food. How do you survive with three children and $50 a week for food? Well, the most expensive thing that I normally buy is meat. So we had to drastically cut our meat consumption. And so what I did was I used rice and pasta and vegetables to beef up our meals with less beef. And we ate a lot of casseroles, one pot dinners, um, 9 by 13 pan dinners, um, things that I could roast on a baking sheet in the oven, soup. So I would take like a pound of ground beef or a pound of chicken and divide it in half. So where I normally used 1 pound of ground beef, I now used a half a pound. And I would take that and mix it with the equal amount of rice and tomatoes, and then I would add taco seasoning for Taco Tuesdays, and then if we had any left over, or if I used a whole pound, I would divide it in half in after I combined the rice and tomatoes, and then I would use an alternative seasoning with that dish to make something different, a totally different taste. So we would have that. I did a lot of casseroles. So with casseroles, you could take two cups of chicken or hamburger or whatever you have that you want to use, maybe tuna. Maybe you could even just use 1 can of tuna. But we would, I would use 2 cups and add lots of vegetables, um, and then add some sort of a sauce. So I learned to make homemade gravy and put over the top a homemade white sauce. You can also use canned soup. It's the same thing as a white sauce, just with like cream of mushroom. You just add mushroom flavoring in that, and or mushrooms chopped up and sauteed in butter, and then just use that for the butter. Anyway, so casseroles, soups, one pot dishes. Those were our staple at that time, and I still bought organic tortilla chips and organic fruit, although I didn't necessarily buy the organic bananas because the pesticide really doesn't get into the bananas because of the thick skin, or oranges. Um, so if I bought organic, um, it would be things like thin skinned fruits like apples and strawberries, those kind, grapes. And so we ate fine. We ate plenty. And I learned to make less food so that we didn't have it in the refrigerator to be thrown away, because we weren't really big on eating leftovers unless it was soup. So um, we just learned, I just learned how to cut my my food costs to next to nothing by doing this. You could buy a whole chicken and get maybe 2 or 3 or 4, depending on how big the chicken is, make that many meals out of it. Plus, you can boil the bones and the leftovers after you've picked the chicken off and make bone broth, which is incredibly nutritious for your body and your skin and your hair and your nails and all that stuff. So try to reduce your meat costs. Let's talk about how much meat you need. So for somebody my size, they say that this is the amount of meat that you need to have, amount of protein, the size of the palm of your hand. So a small child would have a very small amount. And so you need that amount maybe 3 times a day. Some people don't need that much. I think if you're type A, you could probably be a vegetarian, type A blood type. So those with type O tend to get anemic if they don't get enough meat. So you have to go by your own body and how it feels. And keep track of your family and make sure that they're being nourished properly. So try this at home and see how many meals you can make out of a whole chicken, and post it below and let me know. Make your own video and share it with us, and just let us know exactly how much you can get out of a whole chicken. If you make quesadillas, they require very little meat with cheese and tortillas and maybe some salsa or something. And you could have that for a meal. But try some different things and let us know how it goes. My name is Jackie from Motherwise with a Z. You can find me on Facebook at Motherwise, also at motherwise.com. And remember, dinner's at 6. Thank you.